Assemble true believers, it's time for the show. ComixDad's in the house with the books you should know. He's flipping through pages, the good and the bad. Superhero showdowns and villains gone mad. With a wink and a grin, he's your comic book guide. So grab your pull list, let's take this ride. It's the pull list, here we go. ComixDad's got the highs and lows. From epic wins to flops that miss, he's breaking down the books on the pull list. Superheroes, villains, and lore, he's got opinion you can't ignore. From indie gems to Marvel's might, ComixDad's here to set it right. Panels pop the story, so I'll tell you what's worth fighting for. Some books shine, some books fade. ComixDad's coming, it's the pull list, here we go. ComixDad's got the highs and lows. From epic wins to flops that miss, he's breaking down the books on the pull list. So grab your stack, don't miss a beat. ComixDad's bringing all the heat. Tune in now, the verdict's in. The pull list, where the comics begin.
What's going on, everybody? ComixDad here for another episode of the Pull List. Apologies for missing last week's episode. Sunday morning, we all woke up. We were having our breakfast. Queen Comics wife goes, I'm gonna take the kids out this afternoon. I'm like, okay, cool. And she tells me where they're going. We're like, oh, where you heading off to? She tells me where they're going, and it's like an hour and a half, almost 2 hours away. And I'm like, oh, what you gonna do that you're going so far away? So, oh, we're gonna go to a zoo and maybe do some other things. I'm like, oh, that sounds fun. Can I join in on the fun? Because I was gonna go do stuff, but if they were gonna be gone that long, they were probably gonna have a lot of fun, and I felt like we could have some quality family time. So, needless to say, went with her. She actually ended up going to my favorite taco place while we were out in the area we were in. And by the time we ended up getting back, it was like maybe an hour before it was time for the show start. I was like, oh crap, I didn't set up the stream. I didn't look over what's coming out for the week, meaning last week, any of that stuff. So like, oh, well, and then I looked, it was a pretty light week anyway. I think there were 6 books that I was really kind of looking forward to and going to recommend on the show last week anyway. So I was like, it would have been a really quick show, maybe like half an hour, 45 minutes tops anyway. So I was like, let me just do an X post. We'll do the following week, because this week is a much bigger, much more important, much busier week. But thank you guys so much for being here. I appreciate you guys. And then we got in the chat, we got our boy Sane says, let's go. And Uncle Martin sucks at gaming, says hello there. What's going on, Uncle Martin? What's going on, Sane? Good to see you, fellas. Thank you to the 8 people watching between YouTube and Rumble and however many people that have viewed on X. If you're still watching, welcome. If not, thank you for at least viewing it. Sane said blind bag was all the rage last week. Yes, I will be getting to that actually, Sane. That is one of the two things I'm going to discuss tonight. Besides the what's it called? Besides, this week's actual books, but the Batman #1 blind bags. So first and foremost, here is my Batman #1. I guess the camera's picking up the gold background as green for some reason, but there's my Batman #1. But and then here is my blind bag Batman #1. Oh no! There we go. Virgin foil cover. It wasn't the 1 in 500 or the 1 in 1000, but it's a cool cover. The art was really awesome on it, but it was worth picking up. Figured I'd take a chance, roll the dice, and see what I got in my blind bag. But I'll be talking about that, and also this guy right here, Spider-Man 94 #1. MJ's not wearing green. I don't know why her arm is gone, but talking about those two later on in the stream. But first, we're going to do what we do and go through our pull list. So it would be helpful if I had our pull list. All right, here we go. Boom. There we go. Sane, your buddy pulled the 1 in 1,000? What? Hey, Sane, we're friends, right? No, but that's awesome though that your buddy pulled that 1 in 1,000. I mean, honestly, I would have been just happy to pull the Jim Lee Virgifoil variant, but because that was probably my favorite of all the covers. But no, that's awesome. He pulled the 1 in 1,000. He needs to move that while it's hot, because I mean, eventually the catch-22, either he needs to move it now or he needs to sit and wait like a year to see how this series plays out. This new Batman volume plays out. So one or the other. Instagram, look for Fostered Comics, and you can see him pull it. Oh, okay, cool. I do not have Instagram. He sells comics and donates to kids in foster care. Okay, you know what? So then what I'm going to do is let me... actually, you know what, Sane? I think you got me on X. Do me a favor. Hit me up with that on X. I'll forward it over to my wife. She's on Instagram. She can pull him up, and we could check out his Instagram page or everything. But yeah, I 100%, that's amazing. And that's probably the best way to best thing to do with your comic book money is to donate it instead of just putting it back into buying more and more comics. I know I'm guilty of that myself. I'm sure I could probably afford to lay off buying some comics after some I sell, and maybe donate. Not much, like it would only be like maybe $20-$30 depending upon what I sell anyway. But no, regardless, that's awesome though. Donates to kids in foster care. That's phenomenal, and your buddy is a great man for doing that. So I will definitely look, or my wife and I will look him up on her Instagram, and I will definitely be promoting to anybody on Instagram to go check him out, because that is amazing. But anyway, let us get into this week's pull list. So let's zoom in a little bit. As you can see, we've got 20 different things on tap. Well, 17, because 3 are either variant covers with the main covers or reprints or something like that. But regardless, let's get into it. So this is just, as you guys know, this is what I currently have marked for pull, and then we'll go into into each of the publishers that have something of note coming out, and we'll talk more about those separately. But so for this week, we have Absolute Batman #12, which for anybody who's reading Absolute Batman, now you guys know I'm not a DC guy. I haven't been. Absolute Batman, Absolute Superman have pulled me back into DC. I am interested in it. So interested enough that I was willing to go out and pick up this new Batman #1, check it out, and also pick up what is it? I can't remember the Immortal. I can't remember the exact name of it off the top of my head, but that new sci-fi space Batman by Kyle Higgins, Immortal, the Immortal powered Batman or whatever it's called, but I can't remember the exact title, but it's a good book. But yeah, DC is trying some different things with Batman at least, and I'm about it. It's pretty good so far. Yeah, same, agreed. I love the retelling of these beloved characters in the Absolute series. 100% agree with you, man. Absolutely. But yeah, Absolute Batman #12, the new issue coming out this week. Basically pick up where we left off as in issue 10, because issue 11 was more or less kind of just some backstory on Bane in the Absolute universe. Hey, it was a hell of an issue though. If you haven't read Absolute Batman #11, still go pick it up. Gives us a lot of insight into Bane in this universe. But this is going to be picking up where the story properly left off in 10. So I'm excited to look forward to that. But also, what I have here is for Batman Day, which apparently is this week. Batman Day, you could pick up a reprint of Absolute Batman #1 with down in the corner there, you'll see it's a little Batman Day stamp on it. And also just a little bit, I guess, in a unique cover for Batman Day. And then we're moving on. Also, Batman Day, Batman and Robin Year One #1. This is just being given away. I guess as an event piece to give away for comic books shops to celebrate Batman Day. The Batman Day Absolute Batman #1 is only retailing for $3. Then we have Batman Day, Batman Year 2 #1 as well. We have Blood and Thunder #5 out of ImageComics. We have The Blue Falcon and Dynamite #1 out of Dynamite. Don't Forget Your Briefcase #3 from Mad Cave Studios. Facsimile edition of Fantastic Four #9 out of Marvel. Imperial War Nova Centurion #1 out of Marvel. Punisher Red Band #1 out of Marvel. And then this is just awesome Frank Miller variant cover of the same title, but I'll probably be picking up the Frank Miller variant if I can instead of the base cover, because Frank Miller is a fucking legend. Racer X #1 from Mad Cave Studios, as they're building their Street Racer universe there. Image Comics Radiant Black #37. Dynamite Space Ghost #2 of Volume 2 of Space Ghost. Transformers #24, which is going to be a key and iconic issue because it is the last issue that Daniel Warren Johnson has wrote for this Transformers series. And we will get into more about that once we get into Image Comics. But then also, this is just the cover B, George Corona variant. Then we have Ultimate Wolverine #9, Deadpool Samurai Volume 3, which I had no idea they were doing a third volume of that. And then we got some manga down here. We got the next chapter of One Piece and the next chapter in Sakamoto Days. So let's get into our first. Saint Finium says Batman Day is September 20th. Okay, thank you so much for the clarification, Saint. I had never heard of Batman Day because, like I said, I'm not a big DC guy, so I've never really particularly cared enough to know about Batman Day. But now I care enough because they've pulled me back in. So, and then Space Batman. Yeah, the immortal powered Batman or whatever it's called. Hey, Steven JFG, what's going on, brother? Good to see you here, man. I hope you're doing well, brother. Hope you've been good. Sorry I haven't swung by. This new job is keeping me crazy hours. I'm in bed by 9:30 every night. So, but let's get into our first publisher, which is going to be Marvel, of course. So we have Ultimate Wolverine #9. Now, much like with DC and their Absolute universe, they have been mostly killing it with their Absolute titles. So Absolute Batman, Absolute Superman, Absolute Flash, Absolute Wonder Woman, I'm on the fence about right now. Absolute Green Lantern, I read one issue. I had no interest. I haven't read Absolute Martian Manhunter yet, though. So, Steven over on Rumble says, everyone likes $1. Happy Sunday for $1. Steven, happy Sunday, brother. You didn't have to do that, man. I appreciate it. Hey, I'm laughing, but I'm laughing because the message is just funny. But hey, every single cent, every single penny between myself and Queen Comics wife, my wife, that anybody is willing to donate, rant, gift, whatever you want to call it, tip, since that's going to be a thing. No tax on tips on content creation. But we appreciate regardless. So Steven, thank you so much, brother, for the $1. And this is for you, my man. Yeah, there we go. Saint says, I hear Absolute Martian Manhunter is well worth it. Yeah, it's on the reading list. Just gotta get caught up on a couple more things, and then that's next. Saint says, I get up 3 a.m. but still can't get to bed at a decent time. I'm sorry to hear that, brother. I am sorry to hear that, my man. Maybe I'm just lucky then. I don't know. But so we got Marvel here. Let me zoom that in just a little bit more. We have Ultimate Wolverine. Ultimate Wolverine, like I was saying, the Ultimate Universe, this new Ultimate Universe at Marvel is the best thing going over at Marvel right now. It really is. And much like the Absolute Universe over at DC is the best thing going at DC right now as well. Ultimate Wolverine, it started off almost as if it was somebody telling Wolverine's story for him, for reasons. And then once we hit, I think, issue 5, 6, then no longer was the story being told in third person, and we were then getting a first person perspective from Logan himself at that point. But Ultimate Wolverine has been a nice surprise. It has been a very intriguing and interesting read. It definitely hits you in the feels a couple of times. And it's just the progression is. I feel like the progression is a little fast paced, but that's been this entire Ultimate universe because Jonathan Hickman basically gave himself a clock when he first wrote Ultimate Invasion, and the 4-part miniseries Ultimate Universe, by making the Maker disappear and saying that he would be back in 24 months, which is 2 years. So he put him back on. Jonathan Hickman put himself on a bit of a clock with that, but that was probably by design, because Hickman has been quoted to say he likes that he's being able to tell these contained stories with Ultimate Spider-Man and then oversee what's been going on with the Ultimates, Ultimate Wolverine, and all the other Ultimate titles. But yeah, Ultimate Wolverine is definitely worth a read. Go pick that up. Pull list recommended. Sane said I'm gonna have to go back because Ultimate Wolverine seemed like it was a Bucky story. It started out that way, Sane, but if you're able to stick through it, which I didn't mind because I also like the Winter Soldier and I also like Bucky as well. So like me personally, I liked that it had that kind of a feel to it, even though yes, it was technically Logan, but also it's an alternate universe as well. So they're able to take liberties with stuff like that. But if you can get through that, like once it hits 5 or 6, it no longer becomes a Bucky story, and or a Bucky style type of story, and it turns into more of an original Logan story / freedom fighter resistance type of deal. But definitely well worth to get back into it, at least in my opinion. But again, my opinion. That's the whole point of the show. It's just my opinions, give my recommendations on stuff. Just like my recommendation of not to go pick up and read this steaming pile of garbage, which is Ultimate Spider-Man Incursion, written by Denise Camp, who writes the Ultimates, and I've been able to separate the writer from the person from the writer, because I like the Ultimates. I mean, it kind of drug on and was a little boring in about the middle section of where that series is right now. And then there was one issue in particular where he was able to slip in a little bit of that kind of political identity politics kind of bullshit that we've all grown to think is insufferable and no longer tolerate. He only did that really in one issue. At least in my mind, that's how I saw it. And even then, it was so slight that I was able to look past it. It still wasn't acceptable, but it wasn't egregious enough that made me want to say, fuck this entire series. This guy, on the other hand, Cody Ziegler, who's been writing the current volume of Miles Morales as well, it's all about Miles, and Miles is the best, and Miles can do no wrong, and this, that, and the other, and self-insertion, race identity, self-insertion, race identity. Miles is the best. Miles is the best. Miles is the Spider-Man. Blah blah blah. All that bullshit. So fuck Cody Ziegler, and in particular, fuck this book, Ultimate Spider-Man Incursion. Trashbox recommend. It's really the only title I've ever given the Trashbox recommendation to, besides the current run of Miles Morales. But yeah, so that's gonna be no bueno, no good. Sane said, when we get to Red Hood, I thought was going to be another Bucky story. This is the first time I've been excited for Jason Todd. I am not excited for Jason Todd, Sane, and I will explain why when we get to DC. But that's just me. Next thing in particular, so Captain America right here. I am interested in this. I haven't read it yet just because it wasn't something that I was overly excited about. Like, okay, why do we need a new Captain America volume, a new Captain America storyline? Saint said, tell us how you really feel about Cody Ziegler. Cody Ziegler can go kiss my fat white ass. I don't care. I really could not care less for him as a writer or as a person. Because I mean, yes, Denise Camp is no saint, and he is guilty of the politic bullshit in some of his writing, but it's not nearly as egregious as Cody Ziegler. Not nearly as egregious. And Cody Ziegler also, like, Peter Parker Spider-Man, near and dear to my heart. Cody Ziegler just wants to shit all over Spider-Man, all over Peter Parker, and convince everybody that Miles Morales is the one true Spider-Man. That's how he portrays it. At least that's how I see it. That's when I started reading it. I got about 7 or 8 issues into the current run of Miles Morales. I said, screw this. And I've not gone back. And then I even tried reading Ultimate Incursion #1, where Miles Morales enters the Ultimate Universe, and the first story is him meeting the Ultimate Universe's version of Peter Parker and his son. And his son Richard. And it was, I've gone on my tirades about it before. I'm not going to bring it back up. But anyway, Captain America, it's one of those where I didn't necessarily feel Captain America needed a new #1, a new reboot or anything like that. But it does have me interested enough. I've heard some people say, it's okay. It's not the worst thing in the world. Like, it's got potential. So I'm not necessarily recommending this, but this is at least something to keep on the radar until I get around to reading the first 2 issues of this. And then, Yep. Oh, and by the way, everybody, please go check out leagueofcomicgeeks.com. Also, their mobile app, League of Comic Geeks. They are not a sponsor. I'm not affiliated with them whatsoever. This is just the website and the app that I like using for keeping track of what's coming out new in comics, and also to catalog my own collection and what I have, what I've read, what I've collected, what I want to pull, stuff like that. And also you could write reviews on individual issues and series as a whole as well. So it's just all around well done site, well done app. I really like it. So use leagueofcomicgeeks.com. But anyway, so yeah, after Captain America, we're gonna jump over to Punisher, Red Band #1. And basically, we're coming back to Frank Castle as Frank Castle. He's going to be back with no memories, a full clip of and a thirst for wrathful vengeance. His violent search for answers can only be chronicled in a Red Band series. Bullets will fly, blood will flow, and the citizens and criminals of New York City alike will fear the name The Punisher. So, and this is also being written by the guy that's been writing Helverine. Helverine, Ghost Rider's never really been my thing, so like a Ghost Rider Wolverine fusion type of deal. Like, I mean, it was okay from what I read. I read the first 2 issues of it. But I'm me personally, I'm not interested in those kind of stories. But again, that's just me though. So it's just my own personal taste. Not necessarily saying they were bad stories, they just weren't for me. But Benjamin Percy, he has, but I definitely will check this out and read it, because we need a proper Frank Castle story again. Because after a while, Marvel turned Frank Castle into like a bleeding heart superhero instead of like the street justice anti-hero, violent street justice kind of guy that we grew to know and love over the decades. So it seems like they're bringing him back as the Frank Castle that we know, but the fact that he has no memories is a little concerning. But at the same time, it could be a good thing, because then they could start fresh and just forget that everything, all the bad crap with the Punisher near the end of his time at Marvel several years ago. If we could just forget all that stuff. Percy was my 3rd favorite Krakoan Age writer. Yeah, I'm not the biggest X-Man fan. When they did the whole Krakoa thing, I was like, really, they need an island and a nation all to themselves, and it just like it. I saw the appeal behind it, and I understand why they established Krakoa and all that. It just wasn't my thing. I didn't really. I was like, why just continue with the struggle of the mutants living amongst society with the rest of humans? But it just it was, again, it wasn't really my thing. But behind Hickman and Doug, yeah, Jonathan Hickman is just one of my favorite comic book writers of the modern era. That's all there is to it. And people give Jonathan Hickman a bunch of shit because they're a bunch of idiots. But yeah, go check out The Punisher Red Band. Should be a good read. Should be some good old classic Frank Castle type of storytelling. Then we have the Imperial War, Nova Centurion. So anybody that's been watching the show over the last month and a half, over the last like 3 months, You guys know that Imperial, the 4-part event currently written by Jonathan Hickman, has been awesome. I've been loving it, and now we're getting to the point where we're having these one-offs, these other series, miniseries spawning out of Imperial, that we're going to start having to kind of see the fallout of all the different events that had happened throughout the Imperial event. So, and with this one, we're getting Nova. So, Nova Centurion, and I'm not going to spoil anything for anybody who hasn't picked up and read up to Imperial number 3 yet, but Nova, this is going to hopefully go in the direction that I would like it to, based on what we learned in the last issue about Nova and his part in all of this moving forward. But yeah, go pick up Imperial War, Nova Centurion. That's going to be fun. Spider-Verse versus Venomverse. I'm tired. I'm so tired of it. I'm tired of the Spider-Verse stuff. I mean, the Ultimate Universe I like because it's not just Spider-Man. It's not just multiple spider people and all that, not all that multiversal nonsense. It is one contained universe that they were leaving alone for the most part until they decided to do this Spider-Man incursion with Miles Morales. But yeah, I have no interest in Spider-Verse versus Venomverse, and we're moving on from that. Wolverines and Deadpools strikes me the same way. It's Laura Kinney and proper Wolverine, and Deadpool, and I assume is Lady Deadpool. Again, the fact that they've been pushing so hard for so long to try to sell us on Laura Kinney being called Wolverine, that I just out of I guess out of my own my own what's the word I'm looking for? I guess out of my own integrity, my own personal integrity, I just won't read it. And then same thing with Edge of the Venomverse. It's the same thing. It's the same tired stuff over and over again. I'm tired of multiple versions from different universes of the same heroes and same characters over and over and over again. I just everybody has been for the longest time. Superheroes in space. Yes, that does seem to be kind of the direction that things are going, between Imperial with Jonathan Hickman and then over at DC now with this new basically space Batman slash Super Sentai title by Kyle Higgins. But Kyle Higgins is doing that more based off of what he's been doing and what he's learned by writing Radiant Black over at Image. So I think it's merely coincidental that both Marvel and DC both have like galactic or intergalactic stories going right now. Yeah. And then saying says 7 active Wolverine stories at the same time. I don't know how to handle it. Well, Helverine and Ultimate Wolverine are not baseline Wolverine stories. Wolverines and Deadpools, I think, takes place in the Prime Marvel universe, but it's like, I think, an alternate storyline or an alternate timeline type of deal. I don't friggin' know. I can't wrap my head around all of it. Plus, Wolverine being involved in the X-Men titles, plus Wolverine having his own title right now, plus Laura Kinney having a title that also is calling her Wolverine. Like, yeah, it's tiresome. It really is tiresome. But the last thing that I'm going to talk about with Marvel, though, is, as always, the facsimile editions. This time we're getting Fantastic Four number 9 facsimile edition, and I will say what I always say about the facsimile editions. If you're a fan of classic comics, Silver Age, Golden Age, Bronze Age comics, because we're getting facsimile editions from all the eras now, depending upon which publisher you're looking at, go pick pretty much all the facsimiles up, because it's a direct one-to-one reprint minus the price tag on the covers of classic comic book stories. And it's just a nice way to be able to, at an affordable price, it's a nice way to have a piece of your collection that you will most likely, in any other case, almost surely never ever be able to afford and have in your collection. So that's why I'm big on facsimile editions. I love them. I appreciate them. I actually picked up X-Men number 136 facsimile edition last week, because that was also available and came out last week. So I was looking forward to that. I was able to pick that up. I have facsimile editions of various Amazing Spider-Man titles. So the facsimile editions they're a lot of fun to collect, and they're a lot of fun to flip through, because it's just, you're reading history. You're reading comic book history at that point. But yeah, that's Fantastic Four number 9 facsimile edition. Go get it. You'll thank me later. But that is going to be it for Marvel. And now we're going to be moving into DC. And just thank you to the 8 people watching on Rumble, 1 person on watching on YouTube, and to the 18 people who have come and gone on X. Whether you're all still here watching or not, I thank you regardless. But I hope everybody's doing well. And also, everybody, whoever's watching, feel free to hop into the chat, like our buddy Sane is, and just let me know your thoughts on things as I'm talking about them. And we'll get through this show together. But we're in DC now. So DC, we're going to run through Absolute Batman number 12. Like I was saying earlier, this is continuing the story where it left off in 10. As 11, we got kind of a proper full deep dive on Bane in this Absolute universe and what makes him him, which was a very compelling story and very well done. So still go pick up Absolute Batman number 11 and read it. But if you don't feel, or if you don't particularly care about Bane's backstory, you don't have to read it. You could just skip over 11 at that point and jump straight to 12. Sane said, "Here we go. Time for ComixDad to tell me where I'm wrong about Red Hood." You're not necessarily wrong about Red Hood. I would love an awesome Jason Todd story. I absolutely would, and we'll get to that because it's right down here. But Batman and Robin number 25. I'm just now starting to get into DC, so I don't know what's going on in most of these titles. But nobody's been praising these titles, so I'm just gonna kind of glaze over them. If you want to read Batman and Robin story, because I think Damian Wayne is still the current Robin, go ahead, pick it up, read it. If you want a good father-son crime-fighting detective gritty story. Batman Dark Patterns number 10. I don't know anything about what's going on with Batman Dark Patterns. Like I said, the DC side, I always get it's always kind of the shitty part of the show because I just don't know what the hell I'm talking about with most of them unless I've actually read it myself. Birds of Prey, I just have no interest. Just like nobody had interest in Birds of Prey when it was in the theaters, almost a decade ago. Superman, the Kryptonite Spectrum. I don't really know how I'm supposed to take that. Like, is it a color spectrum of kryptonite? Is it a special spectrum of kryptonite? Like, what the hell is that title supposed to mean? I don't friggin' know. But all right, here we go. Red Hood saying Red Hood. Oh, the Game Master is here on Rumble with the rockets taking off. What's going on, Game Master? Good to see you, man. The Games Master. I apologize. Forgot that S in there. But I hope you're doing well tonight, man, and welcome in. Saint Finium said, I liked it. It was the story told by the Ice Cream Man guys. You mean for Superman, the Kryptonite Spectrum? Yeah, I don't know anything about it. It's so early in, though. It's only issue number 2. So I may very well go and actually, you know what? Scene? Let's see. Ice Cream Man presents Soupszilla. Oh, okay. So it's supposed to be Giant Superman. Okay. The colorful cruise through a cornucopia of curious new kryptonites continue. Superman. I'm just reading through it. Watch in awe as the Man of Steel grows and grows some more, bringing us the Kal-El Kaiju comic of our collective dreams. You know what? Scene? Because of you, I clicked open to read it, and now I'm sold on it. So you know what? We're going to add Superman, the Kryptonite Spectrum to the pull list. I am going to go and try to make time to read number 1 of that this week. So this way I can then maybe hopefully pick up number 2 at the end of the week when I go to my local shop to pick up my books. But yeah, man. I now, because of you, Sane, you have contributed to the show. Thank you, brother. And you've convinced me. Games Master says, thank you. Good to be here. Love your show. Games Master, thank you so much, brother. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate the compliment and the support. But okay, Sane, this is what you've been waiting for. So you're not necessarily wrong with Jason Todd or you're not necessarily wrong about being excited for a Jason Todd story. I'll put it that way. Because I want an awesome Jason Todd story as well. Part of the problem is, look at this lineup of creators. Here, let's go a little bit further in. And we're going to open that in a new tab. And we're going to open up that in a new tab. Gretchen Felker Martin. Let's see. Is there there's no bio on here, but Gretchen Felker Martin is a dude playing dress up as a woman. and somehow, well, not somehow, unsurprisingly, is deeply embedded in comic books right now, in the comic book industry, especially over at DC, and has been writing comic books over at DC. And let's just look at some of these titles. Oh, look at that. Harley Quinn. Oh, look at that. Poison Ivy. Both are lesbians now. Oh, look at that. DC Pride. Oh, look at that. Absolute Green Lantern. No wonder why I didn't fucking like it. Oh God. He was involved in, yes, I'm going to say he was involved in Absolute Superman. Oh boy. Well, let's see. It only says 4 issues. So let's see it was only 1 issue. Absolute Superman number 11. I'm not seeing him listed here, so this might be wrong. So that's a good thing. But yeah. Just so this dude playing pretend is the writer on this new Red Hood title. And then the editor is another man playing pretend, going by the name of Ariana, putting on woman face. What happened to my screen? Hold on. What in the world just... Hold on 1 second, guys. My main screen that I'm looking at just blacked out on me. And I don't know why, to be honest. So please bear with me, guys. Sorry, guys. Having a little trouble here with my screen. I don't know what's going on with it. Just bear with me, everybody. I apologize for the delay. Do this then. Let's do that. Alright, what the hell happened to my other stuff now? Bear with me, guys. I'm so sorry. I think my DisplayPort cable decided to crap out on me. So we're going to apply that. Make this the main display. That should hopefully solve the issue. There we go. That's what Sade said your power transformer went out. That's what happens when you speak against those dudes. No, it wasn't the power. I think the DisplayPort cable went out, but no, I know you guys can see me. I just couldn't see my own studio. That was the problem. Sane said, just like I swayed your thought on a book, you've swayed my thoughts. Fair enough. So yeah, but anyway, this is the editor for Red Hood number 1, a man playing dress up, and this is the writer for that new Red Hood title, a man playing dress up. So that is why, in good conscience, Sane, I cannot sit here and recommend Red Hood number 1. If anything, and even then, honestly, if we look closer at this main cover here, so this female character, pink, okay, cool, everything. Look at that face, though. That's clearly dude face going on right there. So there's definitely some self-insertion bullshit going on just on the cover alone. At least that's how it looks to me. So right out of there, these 2 men on the ends. That's right, they're men. We're not getting involved in this. And holy shit. Luigi 34 and World of Gaming have both rated the stream on Rumble. Guys, thank you so much for rating the stream. I appreciate it. Shout out to you, Luigi. Shout out to you to World of Gaming. Everybody coming on in from their streams, thank you so much for hopping on over in the raids. I appreciate the raids. Gorilla Mar is also here on YouTube. Says, what's up, guys? Gorilla Mar, what's going on, brother? But everybody coming on in. Brimstone's here over on YouTube. What's up, Brimstone? BMO better with the raid lights. Let's go. Let's go, let's go. And Luigi, 34, and World of Gaming. For the raids, this is for you guys. Thank you so much, brothers. Yeah. But thank you guys for the raids, both of you. There's Luigi. There's World of Gaming. Thank you guys so much for the raids. I appreciate you guys. Hop on in, hang out. Holy shit. And now it's Snooty Mims. So for everybody on the YouTube side, you can't see this. Well, actually, you can see it in the chat on the screen. But you guys, Snooty Mims, not one, not two, but three. 3 ComixDad channel subscriptions gifted over on Rumble. We got to hit it again. Bully McGuire one more time around the horn. Let's go. Thank you, Snooty. Snooty Mims, brother, you didn't even hop into the chat. You didn't even say anything. You didn't even announce that you were here. You just, the raids, and then boom, boom, boom. 3 gifted channel subscriptions right there. Brother, Snooty Mims, you're a legend. And there he is. There he is with the salute. Snooty Mims, I salute you, sir. Thank you so much, man, for the gifteds. And again, fellas, World of Gaming, Luigi, thank you so much for the raids. I appreciate you guys. Double raid Woggy and Ouija. Let's go. Let's go. Yeah, BMO said he just slipped in like a boss. Damn straight. Where was I? All this excitement. Power Cat Greg is here. What's going on, Greg? Greg's a friend to the channel. Says, what up, yo? What's up, Greg? What's going on, brother? Good to see you, man. But yeah, Red Hood #1, though. Written by a man playing dress up. Edited, the editor is a man playing dress up. This one right here, I think she's just very unfortunate for her, but I think that is an actual her. That's just very unfortunate. Oh, and then editor-in-chief is probably some liberal old white woman. So, cool. So, we are absolutely putting Red Hood #1 on the trash box list for this week's poll list. Let's see. What else is going on over in DC, though? Green Lantern Corps #8. I'm very... I don't want to say conflicted, but I'm very... on the fence about Green Lantern and Green Lantern Corps right now, because I picked up Green Lantern for 26 a few weeks back. But the only reason I did that was because one of my favorite artists in comics right now, he did the interiors of that book, and I'm talking about V. Ken Marion. And V. Ken Marion is typically known for doing a lot of cover work and variant cover work, both in indies and for DC. And I think he's even done a little bit for Marvel. I think I'm not 100% sure on that, but V. Ken Marion is one of my favorite artists in the big 2 right now. And Green Lantern #26, he did all the interiors for, so I picked it up and I read it, and it was a hell of a book to pick up at, because there was a huge big ass fight scene going on throughout the entire issue. And V. Ken Marion's work was on point in that issue. He's not the normal interior artist for it, unfortunately, but because of that, and also he's been doing various covers for Green Lantern and Green Lantern Corps, which are kind of connecting covers. It's great work there. So just on V. Ken Marion's contribution to those 2 series alone, I've been interested in, but I don't know if it's enough interest for me to go back and read and get caught up with the story and become a regular reader of those stories. So I will just leave it like that. But if you're into Green Lantern, and also if you've heard of V. Ken Marion and you like his work, definitely give Green Lantern Corps a shot, because I think he's done the interiors on a few issues of Green Lantern Corps as well, but he's also done a bunch of cover work for it and for Green Lantern running. So Green Lantern Corps, if you're into Green Lantern, go pick it up. I don't hear anything bad about it. So anyway, let's move on. So we're gonna go down to Batman Day 2025, Absolute Batman #1. So Batman Day is on September 20th, but I don't know why on this website they have it slated for coming out, this book coming out this week. So these Batman Day titles, which are just reprints of existing Batman series. I don't know if they're actually coming out this week or not, since our buddy in the chat scene told us that that Batman Day isn't technically until September 20th, which is the third Saturday of this month, or the fourth Saturday of this month. Third Saturday. It's in 2 Saturdays from now. So I don't know if those will actually be coming out this week. So just caveat on that. But that's it for DC, though. The other stuff here, I don't really. Batman, Gotham by Gaslight. I feel like we're being gaslit by the activists and the insane people in mainstream comics nowadays. So that's pretty appropriate. That's a title for for a DC story. Aquaman. It's Aquaman. I don't think anybody really cares about Aquaman. Oh, look, more fire and ice, more rainbow flag action going on. There's no flag, but you know what I mean by that. I don't know what this is, Children Roundtable, but if this is intended to be an all ages book, it's not for me. If it's not an all ages book and it's just a story about kids, I don't want to read a story about kids going through hard times and all that stuff. I'd rather read stories about adults going through hard times and everything. But that's just me. But yeah, that's it for DC. The big positive takeaway is Absolute Batman number 12. The surprise of Superman, the Kryptonite Spectrum number 2, recommended by our boy Sane. And then the absolute devastating news of the overall just bullshit of the people behind Red Hood. So Red Hood number 1, do not go out there and buy Red Hood number 1. I just have a feeling it's going to be full of nothing but the things that we have all grown to hate about comics. It's an all ages retelling of Knights of the Round Table. Okay. I mean, in that case, you know what? Let's see here. We'll click on it. Okay. So it's a good start. Very good start. We're not seeing anybody playing dress up. So that's good. Okay, you know what? Sure, we'll do this. Here, let's go back to DC. We'll do this scene. Because I just had it didn't interest me in any way. That's why I didn't even look at it. But you know what? If it's just a retelling of Knights of the Round Table, we'll give it a shot. We'll put it on the pull list for this week. So, Court Children of the Round Table number 1. Go check it out if you like King Arthurian type of stories and tales, which looks like it's kind of set modern day-ish based on the clothing of the kids in the cover. Also, if you like fantasy adventures, hopefully maybe this will be a decent, fun family adventure for all ages you could read with your kids or something. I read the first issue. It was benign. Oh, it's good for kiddos. Okay, so if you want something fun and entertaining for your kids to read, go pick up Court number 1. But that's it for DC. Now we're into Dynamite. Dynamite has become nostalgia, 70s and 80s nostalgia central, which I am here for, and 90s, considering they're doing Gargoyles now, but they're also involved in just doing Disney stuff. So Dynamite's a mixed bag for me. But if you love Thundercats, go read Thundercats. Space Ghost number 2. I finally got through most of the first volume of Space Ghost. It is friggin' awesome. It is a very gritty Space Ghost tale. So if you like Space Ghost, but you want something a little more grounded and gritty, but still set in that sci-fi space atmosphere setting of Space Ghost, go check out Space Ghost. Read Space Ghost. Space Ghost. Space Ghost. Space Ghost. And also, once you're feeling all nostalgic reading that, then go back and see if you can find on the internet old episodes of Space Ghost Coast to Coast, because that was the best late night talk show on television in the 90s. But then also Gargoyles, Demona. It's telling basically her tales from her beginning up through I guess where Gargoyles ends. I don't know where the story is going to go, but it's basically telling tales of Demona from back in like the medieval times and stuff, like her early adventures and her early stories. Queen Comics Wife is here. Says, "Hey, love. Hope you're having fun. Kids are in bed." Well, thank you so much, Queen Comics Wife. Everybody, go check out Queen Comics Wife, whether if you're on YouTube or on Rumble. Rumble folk here. I'll put. Actually, Rumble folk, you know what to do. Oh wait, Queen Comics Wife is over on YouTube. Queen Comics Wife, hop into the chat over on Rumble with your channel name, so people can click on your picture and they can get over to your channel. But I'll put the channel link in there as well. I can't type tonight for some reason. There we go. There's the link in the Rumble chat. Everybody go check out Queen Comics Wife over on Rumble there. Everybody on YouTube, go, here, we'll do this too. There we go. YouTube chat has it as well. You have Queen Comics Wife's YouTube over on the YouTube chat, Queen Comics Wife's Rumble channel over on the Rumble side. Jose Taco's here. What's going on, Jose Taco? What's going on, brother? And Queen Comics Wife is here in the Rumble chat. Yeah, but that's your user name, Queen Comics Wife. Switch over, hit your image in the chat. Oh no, never mind. I was looking at EVMux because it translates to automatically to your username. You're good. I apologize. That's my bad. Everybody on Rumble, click that picture next to Queen Comics Wife's name. It'll take you to her channel. Go give her a follow. Check her out. She's a great gal. That's why I married her. Jose Tacos here says, I enjoy buying the Spider-Man facsimiles, but stopped because I needed to active subscriptions to get holds. What do you mean by that, man? You mean like at your local comic shop or something in order to get your hands on them? Because they were just selling that quickly? I mean, yeah, just please, Jose Taco, brother, first off, thank you for being here. And then secondly, just elaborate on that because I'm curious about what you mean. At the comic shops, you needed active subscriptions? You didn't just say, hey, I want to set up a box. And then you just tell them, what you want in the box? Because that's what I do at any comic shop I've ever frequented. I just say, hey, can I start a box with you guys? And they say, okay, yeah, cool. That's weird, man. Like, do they want you to pay money to open a box? Because I've never heard of a shop doing that. But it's just, usually shops are just like, yeah, cool, we'll start a box for you. And if shops do charge, oh, it's free? Oh, okay. Yeah, man. Then just what is it? Just I mean, if there's a series that you like reading right now, Jose Taco, I would say maybe just ask them to put that series into your box, but then just use League of Comic Geeks .com or their app and search like several weeks ahead at a time and see what facsimiles are coming up out of Marvel, and then you could just call them and say, hey, I want to add this to my box for when it comes out. Queen Comics Wife said some comic shops don't do it that way. You actually have to sign up with them to get a box and do a subscription. That's dumb. The one by us in the next town over, he is now going to be charging $20 a month to have a box. Dude, that's stupid. All right, Jose Taco. It is League. Here, I'll just put it in the chat. This is the website that I use, guys, for basically keeping for doing this show every week. This is the website I have up right now, actually. So go check out League of Comic Geeks. You can catalog your collections. You can add to your pull lists. You can add subscriptions that'll keep track of what's coming out and automatically add stuff to your at least digital pull list inside the app or inside the website. And then this way you just have something at your fingertips you can take to your local comic shop and either just on New Comic Book Day look and pick up stuff off the shelf, or tell them, hey, listen, I want to start a poll for this series and this series and this series. Or you could look a few weeks ahead of time, sometimes even a few months ahead of time, and then go to your local shop and say, hey, listen, there's this coming out in, what are we in, September? Hey, there's this coming out in November. Can you please see if you guys are going to be getting this? Because comic shops put their orders in 2-3 months at a time. That's just kind of how it works. So if you look far enough ahead, they could either tell you, yes, we'll have inventory of that based on what they've ordered, or if they haven't made their order yet, they will make sure they add one to what they plan on ordering for you specifically. But anyway, yeah, Dynamite, Nostalgia Central. The Blue Falcon and Dynamite, my introduction to the Blue Falcon and Dynamite was when they appeared in, what was the name of the show? When they appeared in one of the Scooby-Doo shows back in the day. I forget if it was the 70s Scooby-Doo or if it was like the 90s like Scooby-Doo show. I think it was the 90s Scooby-Doo show when they were kids. I don't remember which. Or they may have, Dynamite and Blue Falcon might have made an appearance in both. I don't really know. But that got me into the Blue Falcon and Dynamite. So now that we're getting a Blue Falcon and Dynamite comic book, I am 100% sold on that. So that's going to be cool. All the rest of the stuff is just variant covers and reprints for Dynamite books that have come out. So that's going to be it for Dynamite. I'm sure it was 90s. Yeah, it was. I want to say it was the Scooby-Doo show where they were all kids. Oh, and Scooby-Doo was a puppy, and I think Blue Falcon and Dynamite made a couple appearances in that, I want to say. I can't remember off the top of my head, though. But anyway, this is the other publisher that I'm excited to talk about this week. We have ImageComics. So we're going to skip over Transformers because I have a whole lot to say about that. But Radiant Black number 37. So like I was saying, guys, this new galactic sci-fi Batman story that came out a couple weeks ago out of DC by Kyle Higgins. Kyle Higgins is the creator and writer of Radiant Black. So a lot of what he's been doing in Radiant Black, you're going to see a lot of inspiration from that in this new galactic or intergalactic space Batman story he's telling. The first issue was really cool in my mind. It was kind of like a cosmic superhero slash guardian of the universe slash Super Sentai Power Ranger type of deal, it seems. But Radiant Black in and of itself is also a great title. The first 30 some odd issues, probably close to 50 if you count the fact that there was from I think issue number 21 to 32 or 31 there was a let's say a standard number, so let's say like 25 and then a 25.5 because he was writing for basically two timelines or the prime universe and an alternate universe, and then they end up converging together at the end of that storyline. So but it was really cool. It was really well done. Not done how like Marvel and DC have been doing their multiverse bullshit, especially Marvel. Oh, and I still have that comment up. We'll pull that down. But yeah, guys, Radiant Black, go check that out. Redcoat, I have not read a lot of Redcoat. Redcoat seems cool in concept, but it also seems like it's sane. You know what I'm saying. Saying, no, not that. Super Sentai. Come on, brother. You know better. Quick comment said both kids are coughing bad. Yay. Wonderful. That's all we need are two sick kids. But yeah, Redcoat is just I mean we've heard the story before in various versions of this, but basically he's an immortal undying Revolutionary War era soldier. But it's by all accounts it's good. I just haven't gotten around to reading it. But I know VK Marion's done some covers for it though, so that's a plus. But I don't hear anything bad about Coat, so go ahead and check it out. I'm not going to add it to the pull list because I want to read it before I add it, but yeah, go check it out if you want. Now, Blood and Thunder number 5 by Robert Kirkman. Now, those of you who know Robert Kirkman, obviously, The Walking Dead, Invincible, currently Invincible Universe Battle Beast, also Robert Kirkman writing Void Rivals, and now he's going to be in charge of the Energon Universe at Image, which includes Void Rivals, G.I. Joe, and Transformers. He's also, after this month's issue of Transformers, he has taken over as the writer of Transformers as well, just because he's in charge of the Energon universe. It only made sense, but unfortunately that means we're no longer getting Daniel Warren Johnson. Regardless, Blood and Thunder is really cool, like sci-fi post-apocalypse sort of type of story, where this chick, she is a bounty hunter, and this gun is her father's gun from when he was a bounty hunter, but the guns are sentient. They're like sentient AI, sort of. I don't know how sentient they really are, but the gun watches her back, recommends types of rounds and stuff to use, gives her strategy and scans things, all that. But it's a cool tale. It's a cool story. I don't want to give too much away about it, but it's only 5 issues in, so I'm sure you can go and find the first 4 issues at your local shop. But definitely go check out Blood and Thunder. It's a good read. It's a fun time. And then I have no interest in any of the other stuff. G.I. Joe number 1, 5th printing. Go pick it up. G.I. Joe is really good. I'm not caught up with it, but I've read the first 5 issues, and it's a fun story. I also have to read all the other kind of one-offs and miniseries based around the other key G.I. Joe characters like Destro, Cobra Commander, yada yada. But the big thing is Transformers number 24. So Transformers 24. Transformers, you guys know I have been loving. I absolutely love the last 2 years of Transformers out of ImageComics. Daniel Warren Johnson writing, George Corona as the internal artist, Mike Spicer as the colorist. And even then, for the first, I think, 6 issues, it was Daniel Warren Johnson doing both the writing and the interior art, with Mike Spicer doing the color. just Daniel Warren Johnson, I guess, got so busy with other projects and stuff that George Corona came in after issue 6. I think it was issue 6 or 7. George Corona came in, starting doing the interior art, but he basically copied DWJ's style and has been just out of the park from there. But this, unfortunately, is the last issue of Daniel Warren Johnson writing Transformers. So, not just this cover A, which is awesome, because if you read up to 23, we're getting the big, we should be getting, not should, we are getting the big showdown. We have been waiting 23 issues for. Well, 24, I guess, issues for. We are getting the Optimus Prime and Megatron showdown in this issue. As you can see in this cover, Optimus Prime standing over a beaten Megatron. But if we go check out the cover B, nope. If we check out the George Corona variant, cover B, we have Optimus Prime standing victoriously, or not Optimus Prime, Megatron standing victoriously over Optimus Prime. Kind of giving that teaser of, well, how this big battle that we've been waiting in anticipation for going to finally play out. Optimus has a partially functioning new arm that was put together. Megatron is finally back to pretty much full strength now that he's got his arm back from Optimus. It can go either way, really, with how the story's been written. But Daniel Warren Johnson and George Corona have been doing such a phenomenal job that it's really bittersweet to see their run come to an end on it. But I'm going to be picking up both the cover A, which Daniel Warren Johnson does the cover A on every single issue, or at least has been. That'll change after this month. But then I'm also going to be picking up this George Corona cover B, because, like I said, this could play out either way. But yeah, and then just to give a quick preview of 25. Okay, so George Corona stays on as the artist for now, but I do know that Dan Mora is coming in to take over a lot of the internal artwork. And I think George Corona will probably just get faded out after a few issues, and it'll be Dan Mora moving forward. But then, like I said, Robert Kirkman is going to be writing Transformers moving forward after this, which, again, it makes sense. He's in charge of the Energon universe over at Image. Hell, he's in charge of the Invincible universe and the Walking Dead universe as well. But so it makes sense for Kirkman to take over. And Kirkman, as everybody knows, Kirkman is a fantastic legend in his own right. But Daniel Warren Johnson has done something special to reignite the interest in Transformers. And I don't think, no matter what Kirkman does, I don't, unless he is 110% on his game, I don't know if he'll be able to retain 100% of the reader base that Daniel Warren Johnson has built up in these 24 issues. I just don't know. We're going to have to wait for issue 25 to come out and see where it picks up after, obviously, we get this story coming out this week. But, and by the way, if Drunk 3POJ, if you're watching by any chance, man, if you're lurking and not getting into the chat, after I pick this up this week and I read it, I would love to get your thoughts on it, whether it's even, it doesn't even have to be a stream. If we just get on a Discord call or something, I want to talk this issue with you, man. Well, even if it's just DMs or something. But if you're watching, Jay, hit me up, brother. If you're not watching, well, then I'm just talking to nobody. But whatever. Let's see. Red Coat is pretty cool. If you like Clive Cussler books, you'll love this. It's historical fiction. Yeah, it is. It's historical fiction, but I believe Red Coat is also supposed to be kind of like an undying, immortal type of dude too, right? Because he crosses paths, because I think eventually there's plans, or he crosses paths with Geiger in the future, I think at some point, because Geiger takes place in a post-apocalyptic future. But I don't know too much about Red Coat, though. Sane says, this isn't Transformers, is it? No, Sane, it's not that one. Yeah, Sane says, I loved the gritty nature of the art. It looks different moving forward. Yeah, it's a cleaner... I mean, depending upon how they or what story we're given in issue 24 here, that could be by design that we get different art style moving forward. Because I mean, obviously we are, because Dan Mora is coming in, but also it might be a different art style to go along with the new story that's going to be told starting in issue 25. So we just got to kind of wait and see for issue 25 and maybe even 26 to see how it goes with Kirkman at the helm. Levistro's here. What's going on, Levistro? Good to see you, brother. He says, I came in time for Transformers. Yes, you did, brother. Yes, you did. Sane says, Kirkman for world leader. I would say split those duties between Kirkman and Hickman, and then you got yourself a deal. The guys at my shop are excited for the move. Yeah, see, I am, but I'm excited with a grain of salt because it's bittersweet. Because like I said, Daniel Warren Johnson, Lavisha said, "Good luck talking to nobody." Yeah, no, he's not on this show, but he's been in the chat a couple of times before, Lavisha. So that's why I threw it out there because you never know. I figured probably not, but but yeah, saying I'm excited for the move from Daniel Warren Johnson to Robert Kirkman as well, but it's bittersweet because, like I said a few minutes ago, Daniel Warren Johnson has reignited a passion for Transformers, both in myself and in a whole shit ton of other people that have been reading this for the last 2 years, or less if people are getting on a little later into the series. But we'll see, especially because I think moving forward, Kirkman's going to start doing more tie-ins with G.I. Joe and Void Rivals because it's all in the same connected universe. So we'll see how it goes. But Sane says, reading Void Rivals, I think it'll flow well. Yeah, Void Rivals is one I have to catch up on. G.I. Joe as well. Transformers pretty much has been my focus in the Energon universe. But with the transition over to Kirkman after this issue, I may just have to go back and just get fully caught up on G.I. Joe and Void Rivals. I think that's what I'm going to do. But anyway, that was ImageComics. Cover A and Cover B. Go pick up both if you can. Where are we at? Mad Cave Studios. So don't forget your briefcase. It's just been a fun, it's been a fun, like international spy, political intrigue, sabotage / terrorist plot type of story. The first 2 issues were the first issue was kind of drawn out, but then we got that big shocking surprise at the end. And then issue 2 was actually really good in my mind. It helped set the stage moving forward for what should be a good story. I don't think this is supposed to be a long series. I think it's supposed to be just kind of a typical indie series of creator-owned series of like maybe 5-6 issues, something like that. But it definitely picked up pace in 2, and it helped the story moving forward. It helped set up the next couple of issues of the story, hopefully. We'll see in issue number 3. But yeah, don't forget your briefcase. Go check it out. The nuclear football has been stolen by Russian agents, basically. Yeah, that's more or less kind of what happens or what's going on, just to give you a base idea. But go read it, man. Go read it, everybody. And then we got Racer X number 1. So I have loved the first 2 issues of Speed Racer out of Mad Cave Studios. It's a bit of a modern take. Like when I say modern take, I mean like the art style, the setting. Like it's just it's not the same older setting of Speed Racer. It's just kind of a modern setting, but it's not like modern in terms of like it's got that modern audience type of bullshit in it. Speed Racer 1 and 2 are fun. It had that Speed Racer feel still, in my opinion, and I loved it. So we're getting a Racer X story. I'm absolutely going to pick that up because Racer X was awesome in the original animated show when I was watching it on Boomerang as a kid, because Speed Racer is much older than me. But I'm going to pick up Racer X number 1. And then finally, we're down to our manga, our manga showcase. And there's really only 2 this week for manga I'm going to talk about. It's One Piece, chapter 1159. I love One Piece. I am not caught up on the manga. I am on chapter, I think, 1123, I think is where I left off. I'm not 100% sure. I don't know. But also, I have done the gauntlet of watching One Piece from start to current several times over the course of my life, because I would kind of come and go from the fandom. But yeah, it's One Piece. It's the most popular manga on the planet. So go check it out. And Sakamoto Days is a lot of fun. I came across Sakamoto Days by watching the anime first, and then I started reading the manga. And Sakamoto Days is just a lot of fun story about a retired assassin who's kind of got this target on his back. Other people join his family. He runs a grocery store or a convenience store. Hey, Levis Show. don't feel sorry for me, man. I enjoyed it. I enjoy going through the slog, going through the gauntlet of rewatching One Piece. But that's just me. I'm a glutton for punishment, I guess. I don't know. I like seeing the change. I also like seeing where the animation changes over time as well. The art style changes over time as well. But that's just me. But yeah, Sakamoto Days number 228. And guys, if you have Shonen Jump subscriptions on the Shonen Jump app or website, I think it's like $3 a month. You can read these when they come out if you're caught up. And if not, and if you're not caught up, you because I think Shonen Jump, if you don't have a subscription, you could read, I think, like the last 10 chapters of something or the last 20 chapters of something for free. But then after that, you got to pay for the subscription or just or pay for that particular chapter. But $3 a month as a subscription for Shonen Jump, and you can read literally everything in their online database, in their online catalog. That is well worth it in my mind. But that's just one man's opinion. What can I say? So, I did have some news. Yeah. Nah. I had some news, but we're over an hour. So, and I still want to talk about blind bag stuff. We'll leave that up. So here, we'll do this. And guys, what I'll do is after this show is over too, I will take a screenshot of this off of my phone and I will post it on my X account. So this way, if everybody wants to see what my pull list recommendations are for the week, they'll be all up there. They'll be on X. You can check them out. But if anybody wants to grab a screenshot now, you're more than welcome to. Go ahead. So I zoomed out just so this way at least you can see the covers and see kind of the titles. But Levisho says, that's it. I'm telling you, you need an intervention or a room in the insane asylum. Sane says only $3 a month. Yeah, it's only $3 a month for Shonen Jump, for the Shonen Jump app. Because I don't get Shonen Jump. I don't get Shonen Jump physical here, and if I did, there'd be a lot of Shonen Jump magazines taking up pretty much my entire house. So instead, I have the app. It's $3 a month. It's well worth the money. And you can read all your favorite titles. You can read Dragon Ball Super. You can read One Piece. You can read Sakamoto Days, Spy Family, Chainsaw Man, Kaiju number 8, and a whole shit ton of other stuff from over the decades as well. Both current and older popular titles, and even older, probably obscure titles, or at least obscure in the West. But yeah, guys, this is my pull list. And so go ahead, grab a screenshot of that. Like I said, I'll be posting it on X later as well. But what I want to talk about, I'll talk about Batman number 1. By Matt Fraction and George Jimenez, or Jimenez, depending on how you want to say it. But this is... So Matt Fraction is basically... What they're trying to do with DC is they're trying to basically reset Batman, because I think they realized that Batman more or less has kind of gotten stale and people want something new and fresh, and they also want to bring in new readers to Batman as well, which I totally get. So what this is this touches on and picks up on stuff that has happened in Batman already, so it's not completely changing Batman continuity for the most part, but it has some changes here and there. It gives it a not a modern, kind of a slightly futuristic feel, like with technology that isn't too far away from what we probably have now. So Sane says, so let's move Gotham to Tokyo. I got a little bit of that feel, but you know what though? I actually really enjoyed this. I really enjoyed it. Commissioner Gordon is no longer commissioner, but that happened in the continuity previously. Alfred Pennyworth is back, but he's not alive. Big spoiler, back in 2019, they killed Alfred Pennyworth. He was killed by Bane. And then Vandal Savage is the commissioner of Gotham, but through a series of events, basically Vandal Savage was losing his powers. He was able to have a meteorite crash into Gotham, and he has his powers and his immortality, but he only has those powers within the confines of Gotham, though. So through his means and powerful associates and all that stuff, he ended up becoming commissioner. So, but they have Gordon as a Gordon is not retired. He is a beat cop now instead. So I don't know if they decided to, instead of him being forced out as commissioner into retirement. If they decided to change it that he was forced out and just demoted instead, they didn't really explain that part of it. But it should be a interesting and fun way, narratively, to keep Jim Gordon kind of in the loop in the Batman continuity. But and the choice that they made with Killer Croc was really interesting. It was an interesting take on what they're doing with Killer Croc and his character moving forward. He's kind of having like this. He's kind of like having this kind of like aha moment where he's like he knows that there's something broken in his mind. And he kind of wants to, but he's like at this kind of fragile state right now. And the people at Arkham or the doctors at Arkham are trying to kind of help him to do their actual jobs. But it was interesting, and the art was fantastic. George Jimenez did a fantastic job with the internal art. I thought it was great. But yeah, Batman #1 is well worth going and picking up. And I even decided to say, fuck it, I'm gonna roll the dice and gamble a little bit. And I bought a blind bag, one of the Batman #1 blind bags as well, which are selling like hotcakes. Because if you get lucky enough, you can get an either 1 in 500 gold foil variant or a 1 in 1,000 gold foil variant cover. I ended up grabbing this one, or getting this one in my blind bag. I could not tell you off the top of my head who the artist is, and I don't know why my green screen is acting like this with the camera. It's not green, so the book's not green, so I don't know why it's doing that. But this is the one that I got. I mean, the art's awesome. And what you get in the blind bags is you just get basically foil cover variants, and like better cardstock covers as well of foil cover variants of all the existing variants for Batman #1. They're just virgin foils. But I mean, they're cool. I like it. But so Batman #1 that came out last week. I didn't talk about it last week because we had no show. But go check it out though. Go check it out. Sane says Tedesco is the artist for that cover I just showed. And then he said, Alfred died. Thanks for spoiling that bomb. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Spoiler alert. It's been 6 years. If you know, you know. Sane says, buy the giant size issues of these. They're so fun. Yeah, my local shop did not have the giant size. So, I mean, Sane, Sane, I know you said you either own, operate, or work at a comic shop. I mean, honestly, if you have giant size still at your store, I would not mind. I would not mind getting one from you if you can just put one to the side, and then you can DM me if I got to go to a website or something like that to buy it. I'll buy it, man. You can send it on out to me. If you can just put one to the side. I'm not asking to send it me for free, blah blah blah, whatever. That's not what I'm asking for. If you just put one to the side, and then I will just buy one from you. So, trade. My light went down. Oh well. Trade and foil, says Sane. Trade, not foil. Well, actually, I don't know. Let me think on that, and I'll get back to you. That's a good question. But anyway, the other thing I wanted to talk about, I showed it at the beginning of the stream, is Spider-Man 94 #1. Now, there's a little bit of green in this cover, so we're not going to get everything. But from what you guys can see, they're basically giving us that Spider-Man 94 animated series art style in this. And what this is doing is this is picking up from where the Spider-Man the animated series in the 90s left off. So obviously, Peter Parker, he had married Mary Jane. Turns out Mary Jane was actually just a clone. She had died, but it wasn't Mary Jane that had died. It was a clone of Mary Jane that had died that Peter was tricked into, Peter fell in love with and ended up marrying. And where this picks up was where that left off. Peter Parker ends up finding Mary Jane, bringing her home, but then we also get appearances from one character who was hinted at in the animated series and another character that didn't exist in the animated series. I'm not going to tell you who those characters are because I don't want to spoil it because this just came out last week, but I enjoyed it. And it sets up a good story to hopefully continue and tie off where the animated series left. Brimstone said, I heard good writing, bad art. Was wondering if you were going to get this. I was getting this, absolutely. And Jose Taco, I saw your comment from earlier. I'm going to get to that too real quick. Jose Taco said, where is it? What are your top favorite superheroes? Mine is Spider-Man. Well, mine is obviously Spider-Man #1, Jose Taco. And then number 2 if we're talking strictly superheroes, or are we talking comic book characters? Because if we're talking strictly superheroes, it would have to be Spider-Man. I'm trying to think. It'd have to be Spider-Man. Spider-Man, Punisher, and I guess you could say Nova, or Guardians of the Galaxy when Nova was involved with the Guardians of the Galaxy. You could go that way too if you want. Any comic book characters? Okay, Spider-Man, Optimus Prime, and Megatron, Soundwave, Deadpool, Wolverine, the Punisher, Frank Castle, Rook from Rook Exodus. What else? Batman, Alfred Pennyworth. Always like Alfred Pennyworth. Joe Fixit is a good one scene. The Gray Hulk, Joe Fixit. Early Savage Dragon out of Image. Early Savage Dragon. Because Savage Dragon and Savage Dragon's creator and writer definitely went the way of activist. And after a while, the writing just got bad. But early Savage Dragon was good. And I enjoyed that. But yeah, that's kind of just a quick little list off the top of my head. Sane says Magic. Yeah, Magic's all right. I don't mind me some Magic. I've also been been a fan of Nightcrawler as well, especially early Excalibur was a lot of fun to read. The Greg Land cover is great. Oh, off of Spider-Man 94. Yeah. So Brimstone, like what you were saying, you heard the rating was good and the art was bad. I didn't think the art was bad. I thought the art it didn't keep 100% to that 94 Spider-Man animated series style. So I think my biggest complaint with the art was probably just the faces. Like, here we go. Let's see if you guys can see some of this. So, like, if you just see how these faces are done, and it's not but the thing is, it's not on every page. Sometimes the faces are good, and sometimes the faces are bad. So I think it's just some inconsistency. There's a little bit of inconsistency there in the faces. So outside of drawing the faces of people, but like the action sequences are good. Everything else is solid. They stick to the right color palette as well. So it was definitely, I still enjoyed it. I'm not letting that take away. I do hope that the artwork improves over time, but it's not the worst art. It's not. I can palette the art in this because it's like I said, it's still not awful. Like the faces are kind of the key things, but like Spider-Man suit is solid. Everything else is solid. The line work is good, except in the face. That's it. So kind of a butterface type of deal going on. Brimstone, it's a 4-issue run. Yeah, I knew it wasn't long. I didn't know if it was 4 or 5. But hopefully we get better faces in issues 2, 3, and 4. And then Brimstone, yeah, exactly. He says, this show got me into comics, so I ordered every variant. I just picked up the one just because the one cover, it has that animated series art style on it, and that's all I wanted. So, but yeah, it's Spider-Man, the animated series is what initially got me into Spider-Man and interested enough in comics as well. So I hear you, man. Brimstone said, Han saying, I'll get to that in a second. Brimstone said, okay, I trust in your ComixDad. Brimstone, thank you for the trust, brother. I appreciate it, man. Nightcrawler voice Adrian Huff, when I met him, quoted word for word the conversation between Wolverine and Nightcrawler in the church from the 90s X-Men. I died that day. So good. He's always been the moral compass of the group. And yes, and that's what I've liked about Nightcrawler. Nightcrawler has been the moral compass, and Nightcrawler can kind of see all sides of things. Like when the rest of the X-Men are kind of at odds in terms of what to do about a certain situation, Nightcrawler he sees the moral side of it, and he knows when the rest of the X-Men are kind of acting a little rash in terms of how they want to approach things, and then especially when it comes to dealing with like humans and also like other mutants that aren't necessarily doing evil things, or aren't inherently evil. Yeah, Nightcrawler is definitely that moral compass. I agree with you there, Scene. But also Nightcrawler's just cool. His ability is awesome, and he's got an awesome character design. So, but anyway, guys, that is going to be it for me. I know I had some some news stuff lined up, but it's getting late. The sun's getting real low, big guy, and I got to go to bed within an hour and get up at 4:30. So, for work. So, but real quick before we go, one thing, my friend who became my friend after him being on the channel a couple times and him and I talking over these last 6 months or so since he first was on the channel. My new friend, Webb Blainett of Dreams Uncharted, has relaunched his website as Dreams Uncharted Fleet. Now, he was on the channel a few weeks ago, about 3 weeks ago, I think. And there is part of our conversation that he was talking about what this new redesign of the website. It's basically not just a website for his books anymore. It's a platform where other independent comic creators can kind of go and try to adopt his funding style, which is per page funding. Where if he hits a certain goal, he releases a page, and then so on and so forth. So it's not crowdfunding; it's sort of like live funding. Like he has at least an issue, 1 to 2 issues ready to go ahead of time, though. So this way he can release pages as he gets more funding for each individual title, because it's per title. So basically, whatever people reading enjoy, and they're willing to put some money towards to help get to that next page release, that is how it works. It's not that the money is getting funneled all into the entire his entire catalog. It's whichever title you like, whichever series, whichever franchise, whatever you want to call it, you like, that is what that money is going towards. So therefore, he's releasing another page of that specific title. So he's got his new series, Snipe Hunter, which he just released about a month ago. He's got his most popular title, High Treason League, and then this title doesn't get enough love in my mind. Marauder the Rogue Wave Pirates. It's a really cool story. It takes place on the open seas and underneath it as well, with some mystical seafaring creatures and whatnot. But all these are good. Webb is doing a great thing here. He's got some other small independent comic creators lined up to eventually put some of their stuff on this, because it's going to be a platform not just for him but for other creators as well, and for artists and creators to network and connect, as well as a platform for kind of an all age up to like maybe like a PG-13-ish type of range for titles for comics, for independent comics. But it's a platform for parents to come and find comics for their kids to read, but also for just people that want to read just fun and interesting stories. So it's not everything is going to be all ages. Most of it might be kind of in that range, but even then, like his stuff, they're all age friendly, but they're not like I've sat there and read his titles here, and I've enjoyed them. So just because something is all ages doesn't mean it's not going to be enjoyable for adults. Just saying. But yeah, everybody go check out dreamsuncharted.com and go follow Webb over on X at dreamsuncharted. But yeah, guys, and once again, I'll put it up one more time if you want to take a quick screenshot for 30 seconds before I get out of here. These are my recommendations for the week, and I will be posting them on X either tonight once I finish the stream, or tomorrow morning once I get to work. I'll be just taking screenshots on my phone and posting them on X as well. But here you go, guys. Thank you guys so much for all the support, for watching, for hanging out tonight. Thank you, Luigi34 and World of Gaming, both for the raids. Thank you, Snooty Mims, for dropping the gifted subscriptions into the chat. Sane, Brimstone, Jose Taco, Levistro, Queen Comics Wife, BMO Better. Who else was in here earlier? The Games Master, Stephen JFG. Matrix, ATP. I didn't see you there at the very beginning of the show. I apologize. But all you guys in the chat, thank you guys so much for being here, hanging out, interacting, talking with me tonight. I kind of drone on and on sometimes as well. But thank you guys so much. I appreciate you all. And as always, we got 2 more chats. Sane says, that's awesome. I tried to read Wolverine Revenge with my boys. Could not finish it. Yeah. Wolverine Revenge is not something to read with the kids. definitely don't do that. I would not recommend that. And Jose Taco says, night, Jose Taco. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for being here. And as always, please go check out Queen Comics Wife on YouTube and on Rumble. My wife, she's awesome. She does gaming streams of just family friendly types of games, but she talks to you guys throughout the while she streams. She talks about life, current events, just whatever kind is going on. You can pop into the chat and bring up a topic. She'll talk about it with you guys. But she does. She just is very chill, very loving, very lovely, and she speaks her mind, which is the best and refreshing thing. So it had dinosaurs for 2 pages. yeah, pretty much. That was kind of misleading, but yeah. Yeah, definitely Wolverine Revenge, not for children. But as always, guys, thank you so much, and remember to be good to yourselves, be good to each other, support your local comic shops, support independent comic creators, and support small content creators like myself, Queen Comics Wife, Brimstone, Fat Steven, Luigi34, World of Gaming, and so many other friends. But until Friday, guys, because Friday, we're not having Talkin' Shop on Thursday this week. We're having Talkin' Shop on Friday this week. And our guest this week is head creative editor for, or head editor of, or what's his exact title? I think he's head